Many will argue that there is no entrepreneurship without technology. The fact is, both work together, especially today where technology has leveled the playing field in such a way that you can actually start a business in your home or office. But again, you have to learn some basic elements or skills to be able to maximize this opportunity. CEO Precise Financial Systems, Yele Okeremi, joins us on the show to discuss how entrepreneurs can leverage on-present technology to scale their businesses.
So with the level of technological advancements that we're witnessing today, how sweet or how easy it is to become an entrepreneur?
Situation with entrepreneurship, everybody today, like every other thing in life, entrepreneurship like any other thing in life, everybody thinks we are better at doing things. But basically, you see, it's technology that is aiding us to do things, Even while we were here talking about these shootouts, we saw what technology could do. So people think they are better drivers, they are safer drivers now than in the past because technology is aiding them. People think they are better photographers now than in the past because technology is aiding them. And naturally, I expect that people will think they are better medical doctors than they used to be because of technology. And naturally, people would expect that they are better entrepreneurs because technology is helping. So essentially, you realize that technology now, in a way, allows people to have a level playing ground. But this level playing ground is operating at a much higher plane than people used to operate before. So if you look at it from the standpoint of how high you go, you should look at how deep you are coming from. What has happened is that technology has allowed entrepreneurs to start on a higher playing field and on a higher plane than it used to be.
Based on the analysis you just gave now, what do you think are the correct or the right elements of an entrepreneur in today's world?
Well, I mean, basically, if you look at it even from theory, the classic Schumpeter's definition of an entrepreneur, it talks about somebody who wants to build a new reality for himself, and it talks about being able to create something new that was there by combining factors of production. So that concept has not changed. Only things that have changed is that, first of all, horizons are changing. There are opportunities today that nobody could conceive just a few years ago. And these opportunities automatically create entrepreneurship opportunities as well. And then secondly, even as a business, so you're already an entrepreneur, there are certain things that you could never have conceived in the past. So today, we can have teleconferences. You can actually be in 6 continents in a day. And you are doing business there. Just a few years ago, these kind of things were inconceivable. So you see technology, first of all, creating new frontiers for entrepreneurship. Secondly, technology aiding entrepreneurs to do bigger things than ordinarily they would have imagined they could do.
Yeah, but taking a look at our startups, yes. I guess we can classify them as entrepreneurs as well.
Oh, yeah, they are entrepreneurs, yes.
So how well are they doing?
Well,
from what you see? Yeah,
from what I see. So I can only speak, I will like to speak from the tech entrepreneurs. And I'm amazed, to be honest with you, I'm amazed at what I see today. When I get to meet some of those young entrepreneurs, they actually make me feel inadequate a lot of times. Yes. Why? Just like I said earlier, technology provides certain frontiers that we couldn't conceive in the days when I started business, for example. And when I get to meet some of them, when they tell me what they are doing, I'm wowed. I mean, I ask, how did you think about this? But that's their own reality. It's giving them a whole lot of room. But as they go by, there will need to be a time when they become reasonably established, when the mindset needs to change from an entrepreneurial mindset to a managerial mindset. But as entrepreneurs, as startups, to be honest with you, I'm very, very impressed with the level of innovation I'm seeing.
So at what point do you think they should have that shift of mindset?
It depends on the curve of their business. I have gone through it myself. So even today now, when people speak to me, sometimes, and I even realize it myself, I realize those limitations. I'm more or less becoming an establishment person myself. So around here now, everything has to follow certain process. And when you go to that level, in a way you constrain innovation. So innovation on one hand, stability on the other hand. When your business grows to a particular level, you want stability. Stability becomes important. But when you are starting up, what are you stabilizing? You need to disrupt everything, get as much as possible disrupted. You don't, not only do you have nothing to lose, if you try to introduce organization too early into your business will not grow. These are the delicate balances that we manage on a day-to-day basis. Remember, this is an IT company. You need to be in the cutting edge. You need to be innovative. Yet, because we support clients in 30-something countries, we cannot afford anything to shift that will bring down the entire thing. So you have to introduce controls. You have to introduce processes. You have to introduce a number of these kind of things that make you become a manager. So it depends on how your business grows. Once your business grows to a certain level, entrepreneurship mindset needs to change to managerial mindsets.
Statistics show that half of all startups fail within their first 5 years. In a study carried out by Small Business Administration, only 44% of firms formed in 1998 were still around only 4 years later.
But do you think that funding is actually a major challenge? Because if you walk down the street, a lot of startups will tell you that, oh, we need funds, it's funding. But do you think that's the major challenge that they have?
Well, you know, these issues have always come up. Capital. People tell me capital. And I say to them, what's the meaning of capital? And it's interesting. I came up with a friend of mine with a capital triangle, we call it. So capital, we say it exists in 3 forms. Everybody talks about financial capital, which that's even basic economics talks about land, labor, entrepreneurship, and capital. And so people look at capital from funding, money, but there are other 2 types of capital that are very important. You and I were discussing. There's emotional capital. It is emotional capital that keeps an entrepreneur going, even when it does appear to every other person that nothing is going to happen. It is emotional capital that makes you say, can't you guys see what I'm seeing? And then they say it's mad. That's emotional capital, and you need lots of emotional capital for success in this environment, considering where we are coming from. Because many people just cannot conceive what you see. And then the third kind of capital, which is important, is intellectual capital. Today, just like you have rightly said, technology businesses can even start in garages. You can start in your bedroom. Major businesses indeed can start in the bedroom, simply because you have gray matter. You have a concept in your mind. And today, it's not, people are even coding with mobile phones now. Yeah. So it means that the resources to actually do things today are getting a lot cheaper than they used to be in those days. In those days, you needed to have certain things. To even get internet in those days was very big deal. To get it, when I started business, to get a telephone was like a status symbol. But today, everybody has a telephone. And your telephones call everywhere in the world. Okay, so people can do this even in their bedroom. Do they really need an office? Today, the internet even is a level playing ground. A lot of people don't even come to your physical offices. They don't even know whether you have a physical office. They don't know how many people work with you. And today, you can even walk in a crowd. So these things make it a lot easier, in my opinion, today, to really start a business. If people are fixated on, I'm looking for capital, it tells me that they are looking at the challenges. And one of the things my research tells me about entrepreneurs, what makes an entrepreneur different from labor, because they are both human beings, is that entrepreneurs see themselves on the other side of the problem, rather than celebrating the problem. So if somebody says, oh, it's capital is like water. It will always find the lowest level. So if you are doing something really right, I don't think you really need to worry about funding. Funding will find you.
So if the focus shouldn't be on funding, what are those things that they should focus on when they're starting out or when they're about to grow their business?
Yes. So very straightforward. I came up with what I call an entrepreneur's creed. And I say every entrepreneur is looking for only 3 things: value, value, and value. End of story. Just as long as you are fixated on creating value. You know, even look at what does economics define money as? Economics defines money as a store of value. It means money is a measure of value. And that's why we need to look at the fundamentals. Just as long as you create value, you would actually make money. I'm not saying it's so easy, but I can assure you that if you actually continue just running after value, you don't need the prophet to tell you that you are going to make money. You will make money.
So as a young startup with an interesting idea,
Yes.
if certain investors walk up to me and say, hey, we want to invest in your business, what should I look out for?
That's a very good question, actually, because very recently, I mean, this company turned 22. So
Congrats.
I think, thank you. And I think I qualify to speak as an experienced CEO. And in my 22 years of being CEO, the first 15 years, we were struggling just to build value, and we stayed on. One of the reasons why we stayed on was we realized that if we went back, we would not create problems for ourselves, but we were creating problems for people coming after us. So we found a sense of responsibility to protect the ecosystem. You need to ask smart questions, because there's what you call hot money. There are people that give you money, and the moment that money comes, they are capable of derailing your vision. The question that I always ask intending investors, because as an entrepreneur, don't jump at every money. Not every money is good for you. You need to understand that. What you need is smart money. Okay? So what you really need to do is ask questions about the values of the investor and compare those values of the investor with your own values. So as an entrepreneur, it's necessary for you to know what the long-term goals of the investor, intending investor, is, and compare those goals with your own goals. And if you are not satisfied at any point in time, it is important that you express your fears. And until those fears are ironed out, I will advise you not to move forward. But a lot of entrepreneurs are scared. They believe that this will be my last chance. No. There is no deal that comes to you, and I'm going to say that again. No deal comes to you that you cannot get a better deal if you continue to stay the course.
Thank you for being on Tech Trends today.
Very great pleasure again.
All the best.
Thank you very much.
It's a wrap on this edition of Tech Trends, but the conversation continues online, so join us there. Remember, you can watch the entire show on the channel's TV YouTube account or via my blog, techsmart.ng. For Tech Trends, I'm Chukwuemeka Agbata.